From Logan Paul's Japan scandal to Kim Kardashian's leaked tape and Jake Paul's wild Vegas wedding, none of it was spontaneous. It was all planned, scripted, and engineered for one thing: attention. But not the good kind of attention. We're talking about outrage, hate, and controversy. But what if I told you all of it is orchestrated by the same man? A man who doesn't chase fame, but manufactures it. A man that works behind the scenes, planning everything, every controversy, every news headline, and every paparazzi image, with the ability to make anyone globally famous overnight. This man has learned one thing that nobody else knows or wants to acknowledge: hate creates superstars, and controversies builds wealth. In today's media age, it's not enough to create good content and get views. Even if you're someone as big as Mr. Beast, you need to be in headlines, on the news, you need people talking about you and discussing you. But most importantly, you need people to hate you. By the words of the man himself, the people that love you build you, but the people that hate you make you.
If you're not ready to be hated, you're not ready to be famous.
I'm gonna make the entire world sick of the word Kardashian.
Kardashian became a billionaire on trolls. Logan Paul became a billionaire on hate.
Hollywood would go bankrupt if there was no scandal. I ran one of the biggest paparazzi networks in Los Angeles.
The people that love you build you. The people that hate you make you. I know that game.
His name is Shiraz Hassan, Hollywood's unseen puppeteer. He's the founder of Fame by Shiraz, a media empire built on a single rule: if you're not ready to be hated, you're not ready to be famous. Logan Paul, Zendaya, Paris Hilton, Kim Kardashian, they are all products of his machine, built to generate controversy, backlash, hate, and global fame. You see, fame isn't what it used to be. It's no longer about talent, legacy, or even authenticity. It's about visibility, volume, and most of all, virality. How much people talk about you, how frequent are you in people's mind, and how triggering are you to generate engagement and conversation. And if you still believe that scandals just happen to celebrities, you're not paying attention. Shiraz understands the game of becoming famous and getting attention. He's been doing it his whole life. His only job through his massive fame machine, called Fame by Shiraz, is to make you famous through any means necessary. Before Shiraz was manufacturing controversy for clicks, he was building something even more powerful. In the early 2000s Los Angeles, fame wasn't about TikTok dances or YouTube thumbnails. It was about the paparazzi. If you weren't being chased by cameras with your face all over TMZ, you didn't exist. And Shiraz didn't just understand this, he owned the cameras.
I had designed a specific calendar, where to go, what to do, and what cameras are gonna be there.
He ran one of the largest paparazzi networks in Hollywood, commanding over 150 cameras across the city. And if a celebrity so much as stepped out for frozen yogurt, he had someone there to capture it, spin it into a drama news story, and send it straight to the headlines. And it wasn't long before the biggest stars stopped running away from the cameras and started calling him directly. They simply knew the facts. If you're not being chased by paparazzi with cameras pointing at you, capturing your every move, you're simply irrelevant. But what Shiraz noticed is that the most famous people on the planet are the people that generate emotion and trigger global opinion. This is when Shiraz made a shift. Why wait for controversy to happen if you can just create it yourself and make anybody famous while doing so? Paris Hilton was one of the first. Shiraz orchestrated her press like a military operation. Appearances, scandals, narratives, it was all tightly controlled and planned. And her assistant at the time was an unknown stylist named Kim Kardashian. According to Shiraz, Kim was watching, learning, and preparing for her own spotlight. He says that she came to him with a single clear goal: I want to be the most famous woman in the world, and I want to work with you to do it. And this is where the machine started doing its job. Suddenly, Kim Kardashian was being caught everywhere. Restaurants, shopping trips, accidental run-ins, everything was deliberate. And Shiraz's team made sure every moment, real or stage, hits the news cycle. But that was just the tip of the iceberg. Paparazzi images just weren't enough. People love drama. They love controversies, they love scandals, and that was stage 2, the leaked tape. In Shiraz's own words, if no one's talking about you, you're broke. But if everyone's hating you, congratulations, you're famous. Once the machine was built, all Shiraz needed was the fuel. And the most efficient fuel in the fame economy wasn't adoration, it was outrage. The tape that launched a billion-dollar empire wasn't a leak, it was the fuel. A calculated first strike in a media war that turned Kim from a background figure into the most Googled woman on earth. And when she got flower bombed on the red carpet during her perfume launch, Shiraz admits the whole thing was staged, carefully negotiated, choreographed, and unleashed on the world to generate outrage and, well, sell product. He calls it a media moment. But Shiraz didn't stop there. He continued his machine with some of the biggest stars on the planet, and most notably, Logan Paul.
Logan Paul became a billionaire on hate.
It's trying to say that made me famous in a notorious way, like exponentially more like household name.
Besides like the crazy illegal controversies, what controversy has made anyone smaller?
I ran it with Priyanka, Selena, Zendaya.
Okay.
It's about to go down. The first ever social media billionaire.
The goal was simple, make Logan Paul the first social media billionaire. And what better way to do it than controversy? At the height of his career when Logan Paul was doing his daily vlogs, it wasn't enough. He needed to shift from being a YouTube daily vlogger to a global entertainer. And most YouTubers do it the traditional way. They post a video about it, saying they're gonna shift their content, and then start doing it. But that is the boring way. Logan Paul and Shiraz needed something bigger. In order for Logan Paul to sell out boxing events, sell out arenas, and go global, he needed a big way out. And then came Japan. He calls it baptism by fire, the destruction of a clean image, not as a downfall, but as a transformation. He mainly works to the concept of the fallen hero story. In movies, everyone loves a good redemption arc, and they cheer for the comeback. Every main character starts as a lovable person, growing and becoming successful. But then, suddenly it all goes bad. He's about to lose everything, he messes up and fails, until he learns, pushes through the hardship and picks himself back up again for his redemption arc. It's a classic storytelling technique that Shiraz applies to the real world. Logan Paul's scandal in Japan might be even darker. One day, Logan was the face of YouTube. The next, he was trending worldwide for one of the most infamous videos in platform history. But instead of vanishing, Logan Paul exploded. More media, more attention, more visibility than ever before. And behind the scenes, Shiraz was still advising him. And this is where the classic redemption arc story started doing its job. He posts a documentary, goes into boxing, sells out arenas, starts a podcast, grows a billion-dollar brand, and now becomes a WWE superstar. It's the classic superhero story. The more people hate you, the more they talk. The more they talk, the more headlines get written. And those headlines don't care if the story is real, fake, or flat out absurd. They care if it spreads. And all of that momentum traces back to a single moment, the scandal that should have ended him, but instead, it defined him. The theory that it was staged and that the body in the forest was fake and the reactions rehearsed isn't just a conspiracy. There are breakdowns, timelines, frame-by-frame analysis pointing to inconsistencies. The fact that Japanese authorities didn't even confirm a police report, all of it raises questions. And behind it is a man that says without a trace of irony, I control the army of haters, they don't even know it. Social media rewards outrage. Outrage triggers engagement. Engagement boosts reach. Reach builds relevance, and relevance is currency. This is why Shiraz doesn't just chase scandals, he manufactures them. They know what triggers attention, they know how to time a headline, and they know how to push a moment just far enough to spark global reaction without ever losing control. When Logan wanted to go viral for fighting Floyd Mayweather, Shiraz was the mastermind behind making it happen.
Come out of a restaurant, my cameras are going to ask you, would you ever fight Floyd Mayweather? And you just roast him. So much shit about Mayweather that you'll break his neck in half, you'll beat him, you'll punch him, you'll do this.
All rehearsed, all practice.
And I will leak that to the media.
Are the rumors true that you're gonna box Logan Paul? Or that's what the media is saying right now.
The plan was simple. Mayweather comes out of a restaurant, gets ambushed by cameras, and throws shade at him until it made headlines, pushing Mayweather to respond, setting up the fight. The internet exploded, and within weeks, Logan had the biggest boxing match of his life. And then there's Jake Paul, who called Shiraz the day before his wedding in Vegas. The plan? Throw champagne at the bride, stage a fight, film it from 6 different angles, and trend globally within minutes.
Jake Paul calls me up and said, I'm getting married in Las Vegas. I said, when is the event? He said, tomorrow. I got my A-team and we jetted off to Las Vegas. I said, but here's your challenge, Jake. Who cares? I said, I'll make people care, but this is the strategy. I said, what we're gonna do, I'm gonna find someone in your guests. I'm gonna pay him $10,000. As they say, you may now kiss the bride. In that one moment, I'm gonna have someone throw champagne over your wife. You're gonna look at that guy. I'm gonna have at least 6 to 8 cameras filming everything, and you're gonna take this guy out. I'm gonna take that content and I'm gonna get it out to the world.
All of it manufactured to generate what Shiraz calls earned media. It's press that you don't have to pay for because the internet's doing the marketing for you. Kim Kardashian didn't become a billionaire because people loved her. She became a billionaire because people couldn't stop talking about her, especially when they hated her. Shiraz once said that his goal was to make the world sick of the word Kardashian, to flood the zone and overwhelm the media with so much noise, so much content, and so much drama that you couldn't escape them if you tried. Logan Paul didn't become a WWE superstar and co-owner of a billion-dollar brand because people loved him. It's because people hate him, which sparks attention, and attention is used to generate media and money. Jake Paul didn't buy a jet because people admired him, but it's because people despise him. They want to see him fail and get knocked out, which ultimately leads to more people showing up to his fights, selling out arenas, and making him richer. At some point, the question stops being how does he do it and becomes something much harder to face. Why does it work? Because the truth is, the entire empire of scandal, hate, and engineered chaos doesn't survive unless we play our part. We clicked, we shared, and we raged, and every time we did it, Shiraz got what he wanted. He doesn't hide it. In fact, he leans in. He tells his clients flat out, if you want to be famous, you have to be willing to be hated. Not just disliked, but despised. And he lives by one rule: the people that love you build you, but the people that hate you, they make you.